Hello everyone, hope I am audible and visible to all of you. Just give me a second and I'm taking care of the audio thing. Good morning Anandu, good morning. Just give me a second. I think we are live now. Audible and visible to all of you. Okay, so just give me a second. Yeah. So Anandu, Ranjit, Rishi, and I think many of you in the live videos, which whatever we are having, these Hindu analysis, the audio is fine. It can still be better. From today onwards, the audio will be much better in live as well as the recorded videos, which I'll be giving you. So live was anyway not a big problem. In recorded videos, the current affairs, Article 311, and there was another video which I shared. I realized that audio quality is lesser. So I took care of that. I think I'm totally fine now. Ranjit, Anandu, Rishi, am I audible to you people clearly, fluently? Can you hear me? I think you can hear me better than what was the scenario last week. Cool. So let's start Hindu analysis of 25th August 2025. And my name is Shubham Sagar. You can connect with me on LinkedIn or Telegram channel. I'm not on any other social media. I will share this particular PDF and by 9:15 a.m. today in this Telegram channel of mine, Fun Study with Shubh. So you can join it and you can be a part of my family. Very good. Let's audible and visible. Very good. So let's start the discussion without wasting any time. Yesterday, or that is on Saturday. So we'll be having Hindu discussion Monday to Saturday. I think the people who have followed me earlier, they know the procedure. For others, I'm telling you this. So MCQ 9, this was the question in the previous Hindu analysis, which we had on 23rd August, right? So 23rd August, this was the question. What is the answer of this particular question? Rishi, Ranjit, Anandu, and others? Audible and visible. Chepandi is fast. That means tell me fast. Oh my God. So this was a question related to Article 311. I have even made a separate video on Article 311. So I think, and there were different scenarios. Article 311, you can watch that separate video, and that was related to protection to civil servants, because when you will become IS, IPS officer, there will be frivolous cases filed against you. To protect you against them, Article 311 is there. But then, to prevent its misuse, there are certain exceptions where inquiry will not be needed. We have talked about it in the 23rd August, Hindu analysis. You can, and the people who have not watched it, they can watch it. So Rishi has given the answer. The answer is all three options are correct. All these three options, if you go back and revise 23rd August Hindu analysis, if the employee is convicted of a criminal charge, national security is one prominent issue, and president or governor is satisfied that it is not reasonably practicable to hold an inquiry. In this case, even lieutenant governor is applicable, which is happening in Jammu and Kashmir, and that's why we are talked about this Article 311. Oh my God. So Rishi, Bijayant, you people have tried it. The answer is D. 1, 2, and 3. All options are correct. So do have a look at 23rd August Hindu analysis. This was MCQ 10. This is comparatively easier than MCQ 9. So confirm me one thing, because I did a lot of things for you. Is the means voice quality much better than what it was on the previous three Hindu analysis? Vijayant, Rishi, Anandu, Ranjit. Chepandi is fast. So this is MCQ 10, which we have, like, again, we have talked about this whole thing. So Rishi has given the answer for MCQ 10. So Kalapani, Lipu Lake, Limpia Dhura region in news because of dispute between India and Nepal. We were talking about Lipu Lake Pass and how India and China, they have come together and they are talking about they will do the trade. Nepal is not very happy. Again, that was the news which we covered on 23rd August 2025. Oh my God. Cool. So MCQ 11, Sudeshna is saying yes. Very good, Sudeshna. So consider MCQ 11, consider the following statement about NTCA, National Tiger Conservation Authority. Again, yesterday, or like on Saturday, we have talked about death of a tiger in a particular tiger reserve. We have talked about important tiger reserve. Then we have talked about National Tiger Conservation Authority. Oh my God. So what is the answer of this particular question? Okay, Sudeshna. Okay, Ranjit. NTCA. Statutory body MOFCC conducts all India tiger estimation every 4 years and do revise the previous Hindu analysis. That will help you. Anyway, I share the PDF. Prime Minister of India is its chairperson. Nobody has answered it up until now. Vijayant has answered it. So yes, it is a statutory body under MOEFCC. It conducts tiger estimation every 4 years. Prime Minister is not the chairperson. Let's say you don't know anything about first and second statement. We know, and we have discussed it on Saturday, that Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, he is the chairperson of NTCA. So third is wrong. If third is wrong, you eliminate B and D. You're left with A and C. Second is also correct. The answer is A, 1 and 2 only. So again, it's good if you're getting, like Vijayant and Rishi and Anandu and all, you are getting stuck between A and C. That is fine. Second statement is also not known to everyone, but you should be able to eliminate third option if you have done or if you have seen my Saturday Hindu analysis. Cool. So the answer is A, 1 and 2 only. So again, these were tough questions, tricky questions, not easy questions. So again, if you're doing mistake, this was an easy question. So let's come back to the present. Let's come back to today. And this is page number 8. This is the first article of the day. No issues, Rishi. And now, see, understand one thing. This thing, new bill to remove PM, CM and ministers, this we have talked earlier also. I don't remember the date, whether it was 21st August, 22nd August or which particular date, but we have talked about it. But now this article will give you more clarity. How it is different from RPA Act. Representations of People's Act, anyway it is there in your GS mains paper 2. So earlier also there was scenario when if you are convicted, then you will be disqualified. So how this new bill is different from the previous RPA provision? So there are so many different things which we have to understand from exam perspective when we are talking about this particular 130th constitutional amendment bill, where even PM, CM and ministers, everybody could be removed. But what are the basic provisions involved here? What are the different constitutional articles involved here? Then there are different words, there are different terms which we have to understand from exam perspective, and how questions can be framed on them rather. So cool. So let's have a look at this particular article. So 130th constitutional amendment bill, this is just a bill. It has not yet become an act, so this is a bill, 130th constitutional bill, and how it is different from earlier provision. We have to understand what is the basic meaning of the term detained, how detained is different from conviction. All these things are important. What is a criminal offense, what is a civil offense? All these things again we have talked about earlier, but we'll talk about today as well. So 130th constitutional amendment bill provides for automatic removal of minister if arrested and detained for 30 days. Let's deal with it one by one. Let's not rush through it. See, even earlier there was a case that if, let's say, you're an MP MLA, you have been convicted of a crime where the punishment is of more than 2 years. So then also you can be disqualified, MP MLA disqualified if you are convicted. So now how it is different from this particular thing? Already we have a provision. The difference is earlier the RPA provision, I will show you. RPA provision used to say that if MP and MLA is convicted, that means you have been sent to court and court has given the verdict that you are guilty. Then you will be disqualified. Now in this scenario, conviction does not matter, even detained. What is detained? Let's say I am the culprit and police wants to take me in detention or they want to send me to jail. It's not like I have been convicted, just so that I do not destroy the evidence. So it's just a preliminary investigation which will be happening. If I'm totally correct here, I have not been convicted, I've just been detained. Even in detention case, I will be disqualified, I will be removed. So please understand, earlier the criteria was conviction. If I have been convicted by court, I will be disqualified. Now conviction does not matter. Even if police has detained me, I will be removed as minister. And this whole provision earlier was confined to MP MLA. Now it has been extended to ministers. Let's try to understand this thing also, how it is different from like what we are discussing. Good morning, Mamta. So earlier what used to happen, MP and MLA, if they are convicted, they will be disqualified. Now ministers, even if they are detained, they will be removed. So if we go back by previous provision, if you are a minister, it's not necessary that you have to be an MP and MLA. If you go to Lakshmi Khan and if you see the provision, there is a 6 months timeline. 6-month timeline, you have to become an MP or MLA accordingly. So let's say I'm a minister, I am not an MP and MLA. I've been disqualified as MP and MLA, then also I can continue as minister in the previous scenario. Now it will not happen. The provision has been extended for ministers. You will understand each and everything. Be with me, we'll solve some questions. You will understand where we are going with this. Cool. So scope of amendment. So now ministers can be removed. Conviction is not required. Even mere detention will ensure that you will be removed. So people, Mamta, Jivayan and other people, are you understanding the difference between detention and conviction? Then we will go one by one and we'll talk about other keywords involved here. Chappan fast. Jivayan, Mamta, Rishi, Anandu, Vijayan, Taranjeet, Sudeshna and other people. Are you understanding the difference between detaining someone and convicting someone? Very important. These terms are very important. Please, sir, write in the chat section, yes or no. Let's go slow. This is an important article. How do you understand whether a particular article is important or not? Based on how many times they reoccur or recur or occur again and again. So this article is occurring again and again. That means this bill is important. Chippendis. So yes, Anandu understood it. So it will amend 75, 164 ministers, applicable for also UTs, Delhi and Jammu Kashmir, Puducherry, as you can see here. No issues, Jivayan. Good morning. So now procedure. Minister arrested for an offence punishable with greater than 5-year imprisonment will be removed. And remember, this punishment is a later scenario. Even if you're detained, you'll be removed. Removal on advice of PM-CM. If not, so let's say PM and CM, they will give the advice that you have to remove this minister. He has been detained for a crime which can carry more than 5-year imprisonment. But if PM and CM, they have not given advice, he will be automatically removed on the 31st day. Let's rewind the scenario. When he will be removed? When he is convicted, not even convicted, sorry, when he is detained for a crime which is a criminal offense, carries more than or greater than 5 years of imprisonment, greater than or equal to. Now, in the previous Hindu analysis, we have talked about criminal and civil offenses. What is the basic difference between these two things, criminal offense and civil offense? So civil offense is an offense against individuals, companies, etc., etc. So let's say you want to have a divorce, so that is a civil offense. What is a criminal offense? It's a crime against society, not against individual. In the case of civil offense, what happens? Let's say I want a divorce from you, so I will file a case. In the case of criminal offense, case is filed by the government. The aggrieved party does not need to file the case. Government will file the case. So criminal offenses like murder is one very prominent criminal offense. So here also we are talking about removal of minister in the case of criminal offense, not civil offense. Good morning, Yukta. So please understand again these keywords. They are also very important. And again, in the case of civil offense, there is something known as preponderance of probability, which is used. In the case of criminal offense, beyond reasonable doubt, that is the probability or that is the thing which is used. Again, let's understand. Preponderance of probability means, let's say there are two parties A and B, and A has more valid arguments, then the case will be awarded to A. This is preponderance of probability in the case of civil offenses. In the case of criminal offense, which will be applied to ministers in these scenarios, you have something known as beyond reasonable doubt criteria. That because here you can be life in prison, you can be given death sentence. So only preponderance of probability will not do that A has more valid arguments than B. So let's award the case, or let's give, let's say there is a dispute related to property, so let's give more property to it. That will not hold in the criminal case or criminal offense case. So there is beyond reasonable doubt means criteria which you have to keep in mind. And again, when we are talking about this whole 130th amendment bill, we are talking about criminal offense, we are talking about beyond reasonable doubt, not preponderance of probability. Oh my god, there's so many technical words here. Beyond reasonable doubt. Cool. So if PM-CM themselves are arrested in this 138th amendment bill, so if PM-CM, they're also covered. They must resign. If they're not resign, and like they will be removed. So if PM-CM themselves are arrested, they must resign on 31st day, and they may be reappointed. Now this is a interesting provision. So let's say they have been released. After that, after they are convicted of the crime, they can be reappointed. And this does not require simple majority, it requires 2/3 majority. It has been sent to Joint Parliamentary Committee. Again, in the previous Hindu analysis, we have talked about what is a Joint Parliamentary Committee. It is an ad hoc committee. It is different from a standing committee. Ad hoc means it has been created for a temporary purpose, for a temporary period. And it includes members from both Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha. The members are, appointed by Speaker of Lok Sabha in Joint Parliamentary Committee. They can tell you that the members are appointed by President. That will be wrong. So keep these points in mind. They are important. And again, this article is technical. There are so many terms which we have to keep in mind. So we already have a RPA provision. RPA is very important. Why? explicitly mentioned in GS2. Explicitly mentioned in GS2. Explicitly in GS2. So RPA provision related to convicted, like, these kind of criminalized politicians. What is the provision here? You will be disqualified if convicted and sentenced for 2 years imprisonment. We have understood the scenario how the current 130th Amendment Bill is different from the RPA provision. The issue is, the difference is, it's not about conviction. Even if you're detained, you will be removed. It's not only about MP, MLA, it's about, it extends to ministers. Additional disqualification, you can see this. Early protections allowed MP to, now this is interesting provision. Pay attention to this part. So MP and MLA, so let's say they have been convicted, but then they have filed an appeal. During that particular appeal period, they will not be disqualified. But this whole provision was removed in Lily Thomas case. So even if you have appealed against a conviction, you will be removed, and that, exception is removed by, like, hope. Let's go again. Let's backtrack. What I'm trying to tell you. So earlier RPA provision, what was the provision? If you are convicted of a criminal offense for greater than or more than 2 years imprisonment, you will be disqualified as MP and MLA. But if you have filed a case, if you have filed an appeal against that judgment, then the disqualification will be on hold. That thing was removed by Lily Thomas case. The current scenario is not about greater than equal to 2 years imprisonment. The current scenario is about greater than equal to 5 years imprisonment. The current scenario is about detention. The current scenario is extending to ministers. So there are differences between the earlier provision and the existing one. But again, this is just a bill. So let's say it gets passed. Applies to membership, not to ministership. Now, the current provision applies to minister also. And how it is different? Even if you are not an MP MLA, you can remain minister for a certain period of time. And that's how this current 130th Amendment Bill is different. Am I making sense here, sir and ma'am? Are you understanding where we are going with this? So Election Commission, they recommended amendment to bar candidates from contesting if charges framed for offences punishable for greater than 5. Again, you can have a look at this. We have talked about the basic criteria here. Issues. What is the issue? The issue is risk of misuse. So now conviction is not required. Even if you are detained, you will be removed as minister. Bro, this can be used by, center or anybody. We are not targeting BJP government or this and that. We are just saying that anybody can use this and just detain. I can detain you. You have not been proved to be guilty, but even then police can detain you and then you will be removed as minister. So it can be misused. Premature penalty. There is a provision, innocent until proven guilty. So now that innocent until proven guilty provision does not hold. Even if you have just been detained, so that you don't destroy evidence, you will be removed as minister. Ministers may lose position due to mere arrest before trial or conviction. So what happens to that innocent until proven guilty scenario? So that is a point which you have to think about. So again, broader context. See, first of all, why this article is important. We have just discussed RPA Act 1951, explicitly mentioned in GS Mains Paper 2. Then in GS Mains Paper 2 only, you have syllabus related to transparency, accountability. And there are certain things which plagues our country. One is criminalization of politics. You can see here 46% MPs, 45% MLAs, they have criminal cases. The other is transparency of political funding. So if there is a norm, many people now they believe that if you want to become an MP or MLA or minister, you should be a criminal. Normal people cannot become, MP, MLA or ministers. There is this mindset which is there in people. I don't know whether you agree with me or not, but mostly we believe that, okay, I'm clean, I cannot do these things, I cannot become an MP, MLA. So it has been normalized, and many people believe that this bill will go a long way in decriminalization of politics. But then the other issue is, if you are so concerned with the criminalization of politics, don't give them tickets. Why political parties are giving them tickets? You are using the effect scenario. You're making them minister and then you're removing them. The scenario is, remove the cause only. Why are you giving tickets to tainted candidates? You know there how many cases have been filed against them, civil, criminal cases. Don't give them tickets. That will alone solve this whole issue. Why? Why are you addressing the effect and not the cause? So again, a very valid point raised by this particular article. Oh my God, cool. And again, sir and ma'am, are you understanding the technicality of this article, what this article is talking about? So the article is saying that, bro, rather than focusing on the effect thing, just solve the cause. Don't give tickets. If you're so concerned, oh my God, we want to remove decriminalization and we want to, remove ministers, even if they're detained and not convicted, don't give them tickets in the first place. Otherwise, this is just tokenism. you're just doing tokenism. You're just showing to people that you're very serious, but it's nothing like that. You just want to crack, some more whip on opposition parties. So again, hope you're understanding where we are going with this need for self-discipline within parties rather than punitive constitutional amendments. When you're having these kind of things, which is so revolutionary in nature, 130th Amendment bill, have a talk with political parties. It's not like, criminals are there in opposition parties only. Criminals are there and anywhere and everywhere. We have just seen what Association for Democratic Reforms, they talk about criminalization of politics. 46% MPs, 45% MLAs. It's not like they are all from opposition parties. Even ruling parties are not spared, and we are not talking only about center. Even states are involved here. So again, a talk between parties is important rather than impacting the effect or talking about effect. Focus on the cause, don't give them tickets, and that will anyway solve the issue. But then the question is, then if they don't give tickets, who will fight, who will fight elections? Because cleaner people, they don't want to fight elections. But again, something has to be done, and that's what this article is talking about. Let's solve some questions. Bros, did you understand what we have just talked about? Chapandis. And if you like this video, share, subscribe. Everything is important. We have to go viral, and that is very much needed if you want me to continue this Hindu analysis series, which I so want to. So yes, sir. MCQ 1. Consider the following statement about 130th Constitutional Amendment Bill. So, Anandu Kumkum Rishi Jivayan. Oh, Kumkum is a new girl. We are seeing Kumkum for the first time. Hello, Kumkum. So, 130th Constitutional Amendment Bill. I have told you, when you see these big kind of questions, even in UPSC, what you have to do, you have to follow option elimination. Oh my God. So, in option elimination, the statement which you know for sure is wrong, you have to remove it. So, what we know, let's go to the third statement. Bill requires a simple majority. If you go back to this particular article, you will realize it is 2/3, not simple. So you have to just eliminate third. If you eliminate third, you're left with A and D. Now, if you're left with A and D, so we have to check for second statement. First, we don't even need to check. Prime Minister, Chief Minister is detained. They must tender their resignation on 31st day. That is correct. So the answer is, what is the answer? D, 1 and 2 only. Who stated D? Anand is such a good boy. Anandu, you're a boy or a girl? I think Anand is a boy. Rishi and Jivaya. And Anandu, I think, is one of my very old students, along with Rishi and Jivayana and others. So yes, MCQ 2. Very good, Yukta. So which of the following cases led to Supreme Court striking down Section 8 Clause 4 of RP Act, which had allowed convicted MP MLAs to retain membership while appeal was pending? I have explained you this thing. This is a technical article. Once we are done with this into analysis, you can watch the recorded video again, and along with the PDF which I will share. Then things will become crystal clear. So yes, sir. Can I start prep IELTS from here? Yeah, yeah. This is current affairs, mainly from UPSC perspective, but it will help you in any other exam, Sachin. So Anandu, Rishi, Jivayan, Yukta, all of you have given the answer. The answer is Lily Thomas versus Union of India. Very good. Oh my God. Now, next article of the day, page 20, science 2. Is India underestimating the cost of dealing with invasive species? So here we'll talk about certain facts and figures. What is very important from exam perspective is like environment. We know how important environment is, because IAS, IFS, they have the same pre. So UPSC asks a lot of questions in like from environment in pre-UPSC prelims. And also from mains perspective, what is important, they can ask you about different types of species, like invasive species, then you have keystone species, then you have endemic species, then you have umbrella species, then you have indicator species. So we should know the difference between these species. Oh my god, oh my god. I'm so yes, so here they are talking about how not only India, world in general is underestimating the value, or underestimating invasive species. Now if we go one by one, what is the basic meaning of invasive species? So these are some species which are not endemic, which are not found in that particular region. They have been introduced from some other part of the world, and now when they have entered into a particular region, they are impacting the local flora and fauna of that particular region, and that's why they're known as invasive species. If you see this article, here only they're showing a large part of Bandipur National Park covered by lantana weed, which is highly combustible when dry. So these are invasive species affecting the local flora and fauna introduced from outside. Now your homework is, and if you know it, you have to tell me, where is Bandipur National Park? In which particular state Bandipur National Park is there? Cool. So now global findings you can see here: damage from non-native plants and animals. Now again, if you go back, and before we talk about this, then there are other points, there are other words. Keystone species. So keystone species like tiger. So this is a keystone species. Why? Because tiger is regulating the population of other species. So it's a very important species of that particular flora and fauna or region. So keystone species, tiger. Then you have something known as indicator species, which we have discussed. Indicator species. What is an indicator species? Like frog. If frog is there in a particular pond or lake, that shows the quality of lake is better. Then only frog is there. If lichen is a symbiotic relationship between algae and fungi. If lichen is there, that shows your air pollution is lesser. So similarly, there are different indicator species, which tells you Karnataka near to Gunliput. Very good here. So hope you're understanding the basic meaning of these terms, indicator and keystone species. Then you have endemic species. Endemic species means they are confined to a particular region. There are so many species which are endemic to Western Ghats. That means they are found only in Western Ghats and not in any other region. So these are the points which we have to keep in mind. So again, you can see here, damage from non-native plants and animals has cost worldwide $2.2 trillion, and that's what this article is saying. And like again, they have given different facts and figures how much these invasive species are impacting different regions of the world, and India is no exception to that. India has highest percentage discrepancy. What is the meaning here? How much we are reporting, how much we are getting impacted by invasive species, and what is the actual reality. So there is an under reporting because we have limited resources, lack of centralized data, and we also don't know actually how much these invasive species are impacting us in negative ways. Actually, my Grammy's home, they're near to Bandipur, sir. Very good, Jivayan, yaar. Cool. So let's focus again. So experts notes, India's weak documentation, blah blah blah. You can read all these things. This is not important. Hope you're understanding what is important from exam perspective here. The keywords. Now, why this proliferation of invasive species is happening? Globalization is one cause. Now, globalization is there in GS mains paper 1. So that's how. Please, sir and ma'am, when you are watching these Hindu analysis, via this, what will happen? You will remember your UPSC syllabus. Plus, I will also give you homework. You have to remember, like, paste your UPSC syllabus on your wall and have a look at it continuously. That way, you'll be able to remember stuff. So, globalization. What is globalization? Integration of India with the rest of the world, and it is promoting something known as Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Whole world is one family. So now there is no we are doing trade. We are like promoting globalization. Via that, even these invasive species are entering into our territory, and that is impacting our local flora and fauna, causing so much losses as we have just seen. So remember these things. Bilateral trade deals facilitate invasive species spread. Many invasive species crops are intentionally introduced. Sometimes we introduce some crops if we feel like these crops are giving us higher productivity and it will lead to food security, etc., etc. We introduce it, but then they impact our local crops. So it's not like we have to eradicate all invasive species, but we have to have a look at how many of them are feasible, how many should be introduced, how many should not be. Complete eradication is not the solution. We already have different kind of conventions which deals with how to track or how to deal with invasive species. Convention on biological diversity. I keep on telling people about Rio Summit, on which UPSC has already asked PYQ, solve it. Rio Summit of 1992, which is also known as Agenda 21. because they were talking about agenda of 21st century. Via this Rio summit, you had three organizations which came into picture: UNFCCC, UNCBD, and UNCCD. You hear about UNFCCC a lot, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, and because climate change, global warming, all these things remain in news. Then you have UNCBD, which they are talking about, Convention on Biological Diversity. How we ensure that these biological plants, etc., they are not impacting us in severe ways. Inside the CBD also you have Cartagena Protocol, Nagoya Protocol. This is your homework. Read about them. Cartagena, Nagoya. We'll have a discussion on them later also, but for now we'll not go into that deep into detail. This is your homework. Read about Cartagena and Nagoya Protocol. Cool. So UNCBD and then UNCCD, United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. Solve UPSC PYQs on Rio Summit. So and then Ballast Water Management Convention. So when ships are there, they have water, they carry water with them, and via that also invasive species comes. So for that we have Ballast Water Management Convention. Again, you can have a look at this. They are talking about these conventions from mains perspective. Do remember what particular conventions we have to control invasive species, and these are the conventions which we have to talk about. Cool, sir. Better data collection, blah blah blah. Read this. And we have to control globalization. And now this is one of the negative impact of globalization. Whenever people talk about globalization in GS mains paper 1, we always talk about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, whole world is coming together and this and that. But you also have, like, from UPSC perspective, you also need to know the next part, that is the negative impact. This is one negative impact. The other negative impact is homogenization. Because of globalization, people are watching Friends, How I Met Your Mother, and all these sitcoms. English has become a global language, which has led to undermining of vernacular languages, that is homogenization. This is also one negative impact of globalization. So that's how, again, this particular article, apart from dealing with environment GS3, it has also given you points for GS1. So awesome article. Solution must balance invasive species control. Have a look at this. I'm not reading it. Invasions are hidden but major financial drain, and it requires urgent global attention, as we have just seen. Important from exam perspective: keystone indicator, endemic species. We have talked about it. You will remember them once you're solving some questions. So let's solve some question. MCQ 3. We have talked about detention in the first article of the day. So this question is from the first article of the day. Earlier, conviction was the criteria. Now, according to 130th Amendment Bill, detention is the criteria. Anandu, Rishi, Jivaira, they have given the answer. So what is preventive detention? Preventive custody or confinement, whereas my pen gone, by authorities without conviction, that is detention. Very good. B is the answer. Always choose the best possible option. Which of the following best describes a keystone species? Very good, Anandu, Rishi, Mohan, Mamta. Chapadies, chapadies, chapadies. So MCQ 4, what is a keystone species? When we're talking about the second article related to environment invasive species, we have talked about keystone species, endemic species, what else? Indicator species, So what is a keystone species? A species found only in a specific region, species whose conservation ensures protection of many other species, a species that has a disproportionately large effect on the ecosystem, and species used as simple for conservation. Mohan has given the answer. Jivayan Mamta. So keystone species is a species whose conservation ensures protection of many other species. Tiger is one keystone species. If tiger is not there, the domestic animals, the other animals, deer, etc., their population will increase so much. So it keeps populations of other species in check, thereby ensuring even the protection. If the deer increases too much, they will kill, or other smaller species, they increases so much, they will kill, you know they will kill more of the, like, if you, hope you're understanding. So if there is tiger, and if there is tiger, then they're keeping the population of deer, etc., in check. Now if the tiger is not there, deer will be too many and they'll be killing too much plants, etc., they'll be eating them all. So in a way, if tiger is there, it is keeping means deer population in check. It is keeping the flora and fauna, the plants population in check, like ensuring there is adequate amount of plants. So it's a keystone species. It determines the extent of other species. Let's solve a question related to indicator species. So there are lichen, there's frog, there's butterfly. When we were discussing, indicator species, I have told you what they stand for. Take a guess. I have told you about lichen, I have told you about frog, I have not told you about butterfly, I guess. But even then, take a guess. In UPSC also this will happen. You will know about first option, second option, but there can be a scenario where you don't know about the third option. You have to take a guess. Mohan, whenever you're giving an answer, write the question number also. Otherwise, there's a confusion. So, Mohan, Mamta, Anandu, Rishi, they have given the answer. Lichen is air pollution, frog is water, butterfly is climate and ecosystem health. All these three are correct. D. Let's try to understand. So, lichen, frog, I have told you. Butterfly. Do you see butterflies in Delhi anymore? Very rare, right? Because of air pollution standard is so, the climate is so, in Hindi we call it bekar, but people live here because we have to. So yes, climate and ecosystem health, that is being shown by, that is being depicted by butterflies. More butterflies, better climate. So yeah, answer is D, 1, 2 and 3. So sometimes you have to take those educated guess. If you feel like I'm contributing to your knowledge base, like it, share it, subscribe it, make it viral. Within 1 year, I want 1 lakh subscribers on this channel, and you can be a part of my personalized UPSC mentorship program till the time you crack UPSC CSE. There is no time limit to it. There is no time limit. It's not like 1 year, 2 year. Till the time you're not clearing UPSC, you'll be a part of my mentorship program. It's a paid mentorship program. Currently, it is charged at 4,999, but again, it's not like it's a fixed thing. it there are some people whom I'm giving mentorship for free because they are disabled and all these things. But yeah, it's charged at 4,999. If you want to be a part of it, you can give me a call at 9650303257. Also, if you feel like I'm contributing to your knowledge base, you can donate at 965030, same number, because right now I'm starting something. I'm not joining any other institution, so these months are crucial for survival. And once this whole thing passes out, these things will matter. Your contribution will matter. Let's move on. So again, moving on to the next article. ASI is facing a credibility crisis. It is related to Kiladi excavation. I have covered, like in the previous Hindu analysis, not on this channel, but on other channels, I have covered Kiladi excavation, Archaeological Survey of India. So here, there are certain words which are important from exam perspective. First of all, we should know what is this Kiladi excavation, what this thing is all about, because this is in news. Like this has been continuously in news, and that's why it becomes important. And then why they are talking about this credibility issue associated with ASI, Archaeological Survey of India. Swarati Shabha Pandit ma'am, CP Rajendran sir, they have written this article in Hindu. Swarati ma'am, looks like here the main issue is these two authors, they are saying that there is something known as, there are so many keywords here in this article, and they are saying that it's very selective when you're talking about ASI and their work. Generally what happens worldwide, when they have some reports and everything related to excavation, they publish it publicly. But ASI works inside closed doors. Very few of these reports, initial reports, see the light of the day, and they should be a little bit more transparent. And they're very selective when it comes to excavations, which is, you know again, you will understand. Let me show you the basic points of this particular article. You will understand where we are going with this and what is important from exam perspective. So Kiladi excavation began in 2014, uncovering 7,500 artifacts in Tamil Nadu. It's an urban civilization of Tamil Nadu, which is linked to India's second urbanization, 600 BC. So when you read history, you realize first urban civilization, that is Indus Valley civilization. The mature phase is 2600 to 1900 BC. So many people believe, and when you read history, you will see Indian historiography, you will realize South India and Northeastern India, they have been ignored to a greater extent. And many people believe that second urbanization, it happened in the northern India portion. But now this whole Kiladi excavation is countering that point, that even when in the northern part of Indian subcontinent, when second urbanization was going on, at that time, in South also, in Tamil Nadu also, you had this Vaigai civilization. And that was an awesome civilization. That was an urban civilization. So in 2017, there was K. Amarnath sir. He was transferred, who was doing this excavation. And then there were many people who were like, ASI is trying to downplay the findings. Then ASI halted the third phase. So many people felt this is a tussle between Union and Tamil Nadu government. In Tamil Nadu, the center party, they do not have significant say or whatever. Because of that, ASI halted the third phase. Madras High Court then handed over the site to Tamil Nadu State Department. They unearthed more artifacts that led to more issues, that why ASI is being controlled by center to such a degree. And according to center's whims and fancies, they will do excavation at one point and they will not do excavation at some other places. So Madras, again, you can see here in 2023, Ramakrishna defended his report. ASI, they had some skepticism associated with Ramakrishna sir's report. And stratigraphy, there are certain words here which is important, because see, when you're reading history, you're reading about different types of sources: literary sources and archaeological sources. So when we are talking about Kiladi excavation, literary sources, archaeological sources, IVC, Indus Valley Civilization, most of the sources are archaeological sources because we have not deciphered their script. When we talk about Vedic period, most of their sources are literary sources. Similarly, when we are talking about this Kiladi excavation, most of the sources are archaeological sources. The excavation, so stratigraphy is study of these layers. So when you are digging, ground, the layer which is at the bottom, that is the oldest layer, and this study of layer is known as stratigraphy. So these are the keywords which are important from exam perspective, which you have to keep in mind. Cool. So again, you can understand ASI, according to this article, is doing things which union government wants, thereby sometimes undermining states, thereby sometimes undermining the federal setup of India. So union government stands, one set of finding cannot rewrite history. So what these two authors, they are saying is that union government, ASI, they're not very enthusiastic about Kiladi excavation, and this is not the only example. Adi Channalur, Tamil Nadu, very important site, history optional, guys. UPSC has asked a lot of, in history optional, you have 50 marks for sites, and Adi Channalur, they have asked it a lot of times. So what these authors are saying, excavated since 1900s, re-excavation, but ASI delayed publication for over 15 years in Adi Channalur. Shivagalai, similarly neglected pattern. But when it comes to Bahaj, Rajasthan, they linked paleo channels to mythical Saraswati River, Mahabharata, embracing mytho-historical narratives. So again, these two authors, they are saying that there is a discrepancy when it comes to Northern India excavation and South India excavation, and the stance taken by ASI in those regards. So that's how that's what they are trying to say. You can agree to disagree with these two authors, but then there are some terms. Methodological nationalism. That means state-sanctioned version of history. Wherever, like yesterday, I think I was hearing some minister saying that Hanuman sir, Hanumanji, God Hanuman, Lord Hanuman, he was the first person who went to space. I don't know if you have you heard about this particular statement, that Lord Hanuman was the first, not Neil Armstrong or Yuri Gagarin and all. Lord Hanuman sir was the first guy who went to space. So if these kind of statements, Lord Hanuman sir, we cherish him, he's our god, we are not going there, but saying these kind of statements, and I don't know where we're going with this. So issues include, there are some problems with ASI. One is state sanctioned version. So, central government, they decide where ASI will pay more attention. Then arbitrary transfer, poor workings, you can see here, and lack of comprehensive research design. Then there is opaqueness. They rely on closed internal reports. In Germany, France, Japan, as we have discussed earlier, they publish their reports frequently, periodically. That does not happen in India. There is closed internal reports. They should make it more transparent. That's what these two authors are saying. and there is a oh my god, legitimacy crisis here. So, do you people know who said this particular thing? Hanuman, Lord Hanuman was the first person who went to space. Anyone? You people will get me killed. So again, you can have a look at this thing, the reforms which are needed in ASI. All these points are important from mains perspective. They can ask you, what are the issues plaguing ASI, or what are the apprehensions which has been cast on ASI. So in that regard, you can talk about all these things. Okay, let's solve some questions now. MCQ 6. And Chepandi is fast, bros. What is methodological nationalism? Mohan Raj Rangaswamy has given the answer. Where are you from, Mohan? Any other people? They want to add something to it? Which of the following best explains the term methodological nationalism? A framework privileging a singular state sanctioned vision of India's past. And yes, this is the answer. This is the point. Again, if you go back, you will understand. So Mohan is correct. Rishi has also tried it. Cool. Seventh, MCQ 7. This preponderance of probability, this we have talked about in the first article when we were talking about the difference between civil cases and criminal cases. So think about it. Where I have told you preponderance of probability, where I have told you beyond reasonable doubt. Very good, Mohan. And fast, sir. Very good, Jivana and Rishi. In legal terminology, the standard of proof preponderance of probability is used in criminal cases to ensure guilt is proven, civil cases, preventive detention, cases before Supreme Court only. Pass, sir and ma'am, pass, sir and ma'am, pass, sir and ma'am. Nobody has answered it, bro. Go back. So in civil cases, we have preponderance of probability. A and B, they are fighting against each other for, let's say, property or divorce. A has more valid arguments. Property will be given to A. So this is preponderance of probability used in civil cases. On the other hand, criminal cases is guided by beyond reasonable doubt. Because here only it's not like A has more argument, this and that. We have to go beyond preponderance because it's about life imprisonment. It's about death sentence. It's carrying more serious, punishment. So here, beyond reasonable doubt. So the answer is B. And B. Preponderance of probability, civil cases to determine which side's version is more likely true. In the case of criminal cases, we have beyond reasonable doubt. So see here what has happened. One person has given an answer and other person has followed it. And this is wrong. Page 20, science 2. So they have given an image related to CHAPEA. So this is the second CHAPEA mission which will be happening. What is this CHAPEA 2? So CHAPEA mission is simulating Mars condition on Earth to understand. Let's say we want to habited or we want to live on Mars, right? So we want to create such kind of situations in India, like in India, I'm saying on Earth, just to understand how we will adapt to the scenarios and the environment of Mars. For that, we have CHAPEA done by or undertaken by NASA, and they're simulating Mars situations on Earth. That is what CHAPEA is all about. Keep it in mind. Oh my God, exactly. So CHAPEA is crew health and performance exploration analog. I think there was a movie of Matt Damon also. Martian, etc., which you can say it was a film version of this Martian was a film version of CHAPEA, series of NASA mission designed to simulate life and on Mars here on Earth, conducted at Johnson Space Center, Houston, Texas. They can change the place here. They can say that it was conducted in Florida, etc. No, it is conducted in Houston, Texas. Habitat is a 3D printed structure, so they are simulating a scenario which will be there on Mars. First mission already happened June 25, 23 till 2024. So the mission which we are currently talking about, or Hindu is currently talking about, is the second mission which will be starting late fall 2025. And then there is a third mission which has been planned, and hopefully one day we'll be going to, not Mars. So again, solve this question. This is just a one-liner, but I had to cover this because these kind of one-liners are asked a lot. CHAPEA, Chepandis, Chepu, Telsu, Ledu, Kadu. CHAPEA mission designed to simulate life on Mars, on Earth. Yeah, this mission is conducted at NASA's Kennedy Space Center. Habitat used for CHAPEA mission is built using 3D printing technology. In the subsequent Hindu analysis, we will talk more about 3D printing technology, etc., etc. We have anyway done the detailed articles for today. So these articles we have to cover in one line, but yeah, there are certain terms which are important from exam perspective. So Anandu Mohan, they have given the answer. It is not conducted in Florida. It is conducted in Texas, Houston, Texas. So second is wrong. If you do option elimination, you will get the answer C, 1 and 3 as stated by, first stated by Anandu, then Mohan, then Rishi, then Mamta, then Jivayana. Very good. Jivayana is the sister of Vatsayana. Vatsayana written or wrote Kama Sutra. Kama Sutra brings us to art forms. And see what NCERT has done. NCERT textbook introduced Indian art forms. So why this article is important from us? Via this article, we'll talk about different words important from art forms like Natya, Nrita, Nritya, Bharat Muni. He wrote Natya Shastra. So all these things are important because anyway, most of the people, they don't like to read about art and culture. So Kama Sutra, Vasayan sisters, Jivayan. So Natya, Nritta and Nritya. So Natya is drama. So these different classical dances, folk dance, especially classical dances like Bharatnatyam, Kathak, Kathakali, Kuchipudi. This is your homework. You will write in the comment section Bharatnatyam, which particular state, Kathak, which particular state, Kathakali, which particular state, Kuchipudi, which particular state. How many classical dances we have in India? There is a debate going on that. Different sources say different classical dances. What is the basic difference between classical dance and folk dance? We are not going into the deeper intricacies. We have to understand the basic terms involved here. We'll talk about all these things later on. So Natya is drama. So there are certain emotions conveyed when people are dancing, or even Natya is drama. Nritya is pure dance. And then you have Nritya, dance plus drama. So generally these classical dances, they are exhibiting Nritya. They have dance, but via that dance, they are also depicting some drama. So Bharatnatyam, Kathakali, Kuchipudi, and all those, Satriya and all. So they are incorporating elements of Nitya. So these words are actually important. You have to keep it in mind. Rishi is writing Tamil Nadu. Which one is Tamil Nadu? Oh my God. Okay, let's focus. So NCERT, they are like in news so much. Policy background in the line with National Education Policy introduced in 2020 on the recommendation of K. Kasturi Rangan Committee. These are the facts which are important, and that's why we are reading this particular Hindu article. Okay, so NCERT has introduced arts education, class 3 to 5, Basuri, Kriti. Now this, I have a problem with this. You know what problem I have? See, it's not like all the people who are reading these NCERT books, they know Hindi. Why are you naming the textbook Vasuri and Kriti and all? Like they have also named Rashtriya Garima Abhiyan. Why? Name. There are some issues. You will understand where I'm going with this. I am from North India, but I have an issue with this. This is like forced imposition. I don't know. So I am not going there. I don't want to be in trouble. So content of class 8 textbook Kriti, Swar, Lay, Shabd and all these things will be there. Again, hope you are understanding why I have included this text, means this particular article. Via this article, we are talking about different terms like NEP 2020, K. Kasturi Rangan Committee, then classical dance, folk dance, classical dance like Bharatnatyam, Kathak, Kathakali, Kuchipudi, Manipuri, Mohiniyattam, Odissi and Satriya. All these are very strict. compared to folk dances. Folk dances, they change after every 20, 30 kilometers. That is not the case with Bharatnatyam or all these, dance form. They're very strict. They have certain, codes and conventions which you have to follow. Mudras and hand gestures are there, and very, very like awesome when you look at them. Rukmani Arundale, write it in the comment section or chat box. She is associated with which particular classical dance? So again, Natya Shastra written by Bharat Muni. These are the things which are important. Brihadeshi, now this is your homework. Brihadeshi, Sangita Damodara, Abhinay Darpan, all these things are there in NCERT textbook. Natya Shastra we have done. This is your homework. Find out who wrote Brihadeshi, who wrote Sangita Damodara, who wrote Abhinay Darpana. So generally when UPSC asks this question, people are like, oh my god, UPSC asked these texts, where we will find it? They are in news, that's why UPSC is asking it. So Brihadeshi, Sangita Damodara, Abhinay Darpanam, you have to find out their authors. That's it, authors. UPSC loves to ask questions on authors. Objective, again, NCERT is not creating expert, but they just want us to know about our culture, the kids to know about the culture, and that's why they are incorporating all of these things. Content is age appropriate, blah blah blah. So this is not a bad thing which NCERT has done. The one issue which NCERT is doing is like removing Mughal and all those things. People have Delhi Sultanate and all. People have issues with that. We'll talk about that some other time. Let's solve this MCQ 9. Anandu has written Abhinay Darpana Acharya Nandi. Anandu is such a good guy. I have so much respect for Anandu. Jivayan Yakshagan in Karnataka. Very good, Jivayan. So let's solve MCQ 9 for the day, bros. Chepandis, Chepandis, Chepandis. Natya refers to, Nata refers to, Nitya refers to. Which of the following is the correct sequence? Anandu has given the answer. Anandu, you did not tell us whether you are a boy or a girl. But again, we know you're a boy. Anand is like, how does it matter, sir? So Natya is drama, Nritya is pure dance, and Natya is the mixture of both, you know. And most of these classical dances, if not all, they have Nritya, like they have both Natya and drama. This question was asked during interview also in 2023. Very good, Mamta. So the answer is A. A. And who answered it? A. Anandu, Jivayan, and Rishi. Very good. MCQ 10. Anandu has answered it. Keystone species, indicator species, flagship species, endemic species. So I have told you about keystone species. I have told you about indicator species. I have told you about endemic species, which are confined to a particular region. I have not told you about flagship species. Again, it's very similar to keystone species, flagship species. So even if you don't know, let's say flagship species, even then try to solve it based on what we have. Do option elimination. This is just a homework question for you people. I will tell you the answer tomorrow in the tomorrow's Hindu analysis. This MCQ 10 is homework. Then MCQ 11. Why is CHAPEA considered important for future Mars exploration? Again, try this question out. We'll discuss the answer of MCQ 10 and 11 tomorrow, first thing. These two things are homework for you. And again, if you like this video, share it, subscribe it. The performance of this channel, etc., depends on you people. And I give it my all. I wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning to do this thing. I love to do it. And I feel like I can contribute a lot to your knowledge base. and in helping you in clearing this UPSC journey. If you want to know more about me, you can go to the post section of this channel. Based on how many students have cleared which particular exam of mine, you will know more about me. Cool. And I will share this particular PDF in this Telegram channel of mine, Fun Study with you, within 10 minutes from now. You can join this. You can also post your score out of these 11 MCQs, 9 we have done today, 2 are homework. How many you got correctly out of 9? And if you want to be a part of my personalized mentorship program, I've already told you, give me a call. Also, if you feel like I've contributed anything, donate. This every single donation matters. So that's it from me. Thank God, sir. Lots of love. Thank you, Rishi. So I will see you people tomorrow then. And again, if you have any doubts, queries, you can always stop me. That, sir, I have some doubts. Please answer this before you close the session. We can always do that at the end of the session, or you can even tell me at the starting of the session that you have some doubts. We'll have it. That is also one of the purpose why we take it live. Cool. So I think you don't have any doubts. Thank you, Mamta. Thank you.